dramatic times now. Oh, brands are facing just unexpected, unanticipated challenges. What's some of the conversations you're having with your membership? What are some best practices that you're seeing coming up from your colleagues, and what is the ANA suggesting?
Andy, it's a number of efforts. There is no one size that fits all to this specific issue. One of the first things that we did was we created essentially a CMO leadership forum to help start to address some of the things that marketers needed to consider. And we had a wonderful portfolio of case histories and perspectives that were offered by various CMOs. One of the things that absolutely resonated was the concept of not necessarily storytelling, but to focus in on story doing. And that involves changing the strategic outlook from pushing product to essentially embracing people and recognizing that so many people are going through such terrible times right now, whether they're being pushed to the unemployment lines or having trouble to get the resources that they need to exist day to day, and then handicapped by the fear and uncertainty that just overwhelms you in no time flat. And so these CMOs have essentially transformed their organizations to produce products and services that are absolutely necessary. Like we've heard such great stories from the auto companies to produce ventilators, and companies like LVMH and Anheuser-Busch producing hand sanitizer from their manufacturing facilities, and so on and so forth. And the stream of those types of goodwill extend very, very broadly. But most importantly, everybody has rallied around one core message, which is to stay home, keep your distance, wash your hands, and do all the things that are appropriate and necessary to stop this fiasco of a virus as soon as we possibly can. And so we're seeing a focus in on purposeful marketing. In fact, almost to the point where we call it useful marketing, that truly embraces the human condition and pushes us all in another direction. And this has really nicely resonated with a massive campaign that is being organized by the Ad Council and including in many of the trades, which will launch tomorrow, called Stay Home, Save Lives. And it's a simple message, but it is, we're bringing out toolkits for all of our respective memberships to participate and amplify this core message. It's primarily directed at 18-34-year-olds where it's most necessary because they've exhibited the behavior that has been anti-appropriate behavior, where they're going out and socializing and not social distancing and all the good things that we've been hearing about. So we're seeing this consistent ramp up by many of our marketing partners, and recognizing that there is so much to do and so much to embrace, and the human condition is the place to start.
So Bob, so many things changing in our industry, with Cannes Lions being canceled altogether.
Right.
And of course, ANA has a very robust and dynamic and successful and important events business. What are the challenges for the ANA in terms of keeping everyone informed, and maybe some lessons you might want to share with other organizations and publishers that do these events?
Yeah. Well, from a pure event standpoint, we rescheduled everything that was supposed to be in person and face to face to the back half of the year, and we canceled one or two as well, as we worked with the hotels to avoid cancellation penalties and things of that nature. That's the sheer logistics of what we can do to ensure that we stay in front of everybody, and I'm sure many organizations that are in events are doing very, very similar things. What we've been able to do, most importantly, is to virtualize and to start to create digital conferences and digital training programs that are truly face-to-face and through a virtual platform. And the creativity and innovation that this has spawned has allowed us to be able to connect with even more members than we've had the ability to do. And when you think about where our members are, they're like you and I. We're sitting in front of our computer screens talking to each other. And this is a great time for them to take advantage of very focused webinars that have coronavirus in its primary title, or other different forms of marketing, such as influencer marketing, content marketing, things that when we get to AC or after Corona will be most relevant to them. And so the proliferation of opportunities to be able to connect with our respective constituencies has actually flourished and grown, and is being met with great receptivity, because these are important things that we always said that our members can learn at their desktop. And fortunately, so far, so good on that front.
And finally, Bob, I know we can't see the crystal ball. We don't know how this thing is going to work out, but I wanted to ask you in terms of investing in a brand in the short term and the long term, and sort of through this thing, and how brands need to sort of manage their investment immediately and in the long term. Any thoughts along those lines?
Yeah, lots of, and a lot of lessons learned that came out of the 08, 09 crisis, when everybody was massively cutting budgets. And I think the lessons that came out of that are the same lessons that we would bring forward today. First, pick the right timing to get back into your core messaging. There will be a point in time as the condition of the coronavirus gets behind us and economic times start to return to normal. So it's very important to pick that right timing so that you don't appear like you're tone deaf. Secondly, maintain as much of your budget as you possibly can, because this is a great opportunity to do two things. One is to maintain or enhance your brand equity and your brand value. It's so important that we build important relationships with our consumers and customers and be able to drive our brand forward. And driving that brand forward involves also having the opportunity to pick up share of market. As your competitors are thinking about cutting their respective budgets, this is a great opportunity to get one up on them and think about investing even more to capture that share of market, which is so difficult to achieve.